Hello YouTube, in today's video I want to discuss something that really annoys me last times, and that is that nowadays we are having more and more people, all the way from like regular gym goers to Instagram fitness influencers, YouTubers, up to like even very educated people like coaches, nutrition experts, personal trainers, and even doctors that are publicly saying on social media platforms that there is no such thing as good or bad food, that all foods are good and everything can be a part of our daily nutrition as long as we stay and stick to our daily caloric and macro intake. So why do I think this is happening? Why do I think there are more and more people claiming that there are no bad foods and you can eat McDonald's and candy bars or pretty much any other junk on daily basis as long as you hit your macros? Well, because I think we as a society are becoming bigger pussies with each new year. You would have people around the globe in some countries that are literally hungry on daily basis. They are starving and they would be thanking God for eating a bowl of oats or apple or banana, but not you. You don't like eating oats. Who eats fruits and vegetables? Ew. You would rather find an excuse to fit junk into your daily nutrition, and then you would be attacking people like me that are claiming that this is a bad food. And you would be like, oh, you're demonizing food. This is not a bad food. All food is good food. No, this is not true. And you're literally spreading misinformation for the sake of satisfying your feelings. So one thing is your feeling and how you feel, and the other thing is the fact. And the fact is that there are good and bad foods. So there are foods that are healthy and will benefit your health and do overall good to your body, and there are foods that are unhealthy and will harm your health and not do good to your body. So I'm not saying that eating like a candy bar every now and then will do much harm to your body, certainly not, but it's like saying, oh, smoking 2 cigarettes per day is healthy because it's only 2 cigarettes per day. It's not 20 cigarettes per day. No, it's still unhealthy, but it's certainly less unhealthy than smoking 20 cigarettes per day. And the same goes with junk food. So eating junk food every now and then probably won't do much harm to you, but eating it on daily basis in larger amounts will certainly negatively impact your health. And just because it won't so much negatively impact your health than if you were to eat all just junk food, it doesn't mean that's a good food. It's still a bad food. And now let me explain everything on an example. So let's say we have two people, person A and person B. Person A decides to go in a calorie deficit, but he decides to do it all healthy, unprocessed foods, high protein diet with lots of vegetables and fruits included, so he gets all the fiber, all the vitamins, all the minerals, enough protein and all that. But the person B decides, he says, oh, I don't want to eat healthy, I just want to lose weight, and all that matters is that I stick to my macros and the calorie deficit. So he decides to go in a calorie deficit, but with eating only like processed foods like McDonald's, ice cream, chocolate bars and stuff like that. And now let's also say that they are both physically active. Let's say they both train 4 times weekly with weights. They train for progressive overload. So they both do the same things. The only difference is their diet. So let's observe the body composition. I'm almost 100% sure that person A will have better results than person B. Now, will they both lose weight? They certainly will, because they're both in a calorie deficit. And yes, even if you eat all junk food, if you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. What I think will happen at the end? At the end, I think person A will have a better body composition than person B. He'll most likely lose more body fat and retain more muscle mass, or even gain some muscle mass throughout the process, because he's feeding his body with high quality food. He really gives it nutrients, so he will definitely feel much better, gain more strength, preserve or gain more muscle than the person B. And at the end, he will certainly look better than person B, even though they both had same calories and same macros. Simply because he is consuming more higher quality food and because of the better nutrient partitioning. So obviously his insulin sensitivity will be much better because he's feeding his body with lots of fiber and slow digesting carbohydrates, when the person B is just like slamming the high glycemic index, carbohydrates, so better insulin sensitivity results usually in more fat loss and more strength and muscle gain. The more insulin sensitive you are, the better. Then the second thing is the protein, the quality of the protein. As I already mentioned in many of my videos, not all proteins are the same. We have higher quality proteins, lower quality proteins. So the person A is mostly eating higher quality proteins because he's eating like meats, fish, eggs, egg whites, curd, and like clean protein sources like that. When the person B is getting his protein from like McDonald's and those low quality cheeses and milkshakes and I don't know, like ice cream. So he's certainly getting lots of his protein from like really bad quality sources, and the amino acid profile of the protein will obviously determine how this protein is going to be used. So the person A definitely has more ability to gain muscle and to feed the recovery process because he is intaking higher quality proteins than the person B. And not to mention the fat quality as well, which fats are obviously very important too. We'll talk more about that later when we come to hormonal response. So yeah, this is how much of a role the quality of food and the nutrient partitioning of this food will play at the end when it comes to body composition. So I certainly am 100% that person A will have better results, will have more muscle mass, will have less fat mass than the person B, even though they are consuming same calories and same macros. Now, let's move on to second point, and these are micronutrients, so vitamins and minerals. So the person A, he's getting plenty of those. He has enough vitamins and minerals for sure because he's eating like a wide variety of vegetables and fruits, and pretty much any food source he consumes is rich in micronutrients. So he probably doesn't even need to like supplement with vitamins and minerals because he gets them enough from the food. He gets plenty of vitamins, plenty of minerals, plenty of antioxidants. But what with the person B though? Person B could be severely micronutrient deficient because first he's in a calorie deficit, so he is depriving himself from the calories and macronutrients. But now he's also depriving himself from micronutrients because, as you probably know, foods like ice cream, McDonald's cheeseburger, then let's say donuts, muffins, that stuff really doesn't have many vitamins and minerals. And if you only or majority eat only these foods, chances are you'll be not chances, I mean, it's almost 100% fact that you will be micronutrient deficient. Therefore, you will need to take a bunch of pills in order to hit your macronutrient needs. And yeah, you can argue with me, oh, but I just take multivitamin and I supplement with this vitamin and this vitamin and this mineral and this antioxidant. I mean, yeah, but like, let's be honest, how many of you do you actually track down your micronutrients? So do you really make sure that you have enough potassium, make sure that you have enough magnesium, make sure that you have enough zinc, make sure that you have enough vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin A? Are you really doing that? I don't think so. I think that majority of you don't really give a shit about your macronutrient intake. So yeah, person A, not micronutrient deficient. Person B, probably micronutrient deficient. Even though he's supplementing with all these supplements, he probably still is not getting all the necessary micronutrients because he's not cautious enough. He probably doesn't analyze it down to a detail and get all his pills and supplement every single thing and make sure that he's on top of his micronutrient intake. So moving on to third thing is how will these foods actually impact your overall health. So the person A will certainly be much healthier than the person B. Why? First, I believe that his cholesterol will look 10 times better because those foods will actually lower his cholesterol, or at least they won't up it. When the person B, he's eating only like this junk food, like McDonald's, trans fats, sugar. And we all know that these processed foods will certainly not positively impact your cholesterol. They will probably lower your HDL, so that's the good cholesterol, and they will almost certainly increase the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol. Moving on to the inflammation markers, person A will have much lower inflammation markers like C-reactive protein than person B, because we all know that processed foods cause inflammation. So eating McDonald's, eating plenty of sugar directly increases inflammation in your body. Then blood pressure. Person B will almost certainly have higher blood pressure than the person A. So if the blood pressures are both within the healthy range, that's fine. But I'm just saying that he's more prone to having hypertension and problems with high blood pressure than he. So moving on to blood glucose, so the insulin sensitivity, obviously, like without a doubt, person A will have better insulin sensitivity and lower blood glucose levels than the person B. Why? Well, because he's eating more low glycemic index, slow absorbing carbohydrates, he's eating fiber, he's eating plenty of like things that will improve his insulin sensitivity, when the person B is just like slamming those high glycemic index carbohydrates like dextrose, bread, sugars, you know, and he's like spiking his insulin all the time, you know, certainly not healthy. So insulin sensitivity, person A will have better insulin sensitivity than person B. Then even cancer, for example, like person A will certainly have lower risk of getting cancer than person B. Not just because he's eating foods that are not carcinogenic, because processed foods are carcinogenic for sure, but he is also eating plenty of antioxidants, and those foods may actually lower the risk of getting cancer. Then what else could we discuss about health? Let's say skin health too. I'm almost 100% sure that the person A, considering they both have same genetics, that he's not more prone to getting acne than person B, I think he will have better, more clean skin than the person B. I think person B will have more acne and more oily skin because of the food that he eats. And then another very important thing would be the testosterone production. So person A would certainly have better testosterone production than the person B, because he's simply he's getting in those essential high quality fats and cholesterol from things like eggs, avocados, fatty fish, nuts, peanut butters, when the person B is literally eating foods that are destroying and killing his natural testosterone production. So not only person A is speeding up his natural production, but the person B is actually not just not speeding up, but he's actually destroying it. He's actually killing it with the foods that he's eating. So that will obviously as well play a big role over the longer periods of time, both in their body composition and in their overall like well-being, how they feel, and their overall health. And yeah, I'll slowly stop here because there are plenty of other things that we could compare and discuss. But you get my point, right? Person A will in all aspects do better than person B. Okay, person B might eat a little bit more tasty food, but that's pretty much it. Besides that, person A will reap all the benefits and will do much better at the end than the person B. Now, this was obviously an extreme example because we were comparing two completely different extremes, like someone eating like all unprocessed, 100% clean, and someone eating all processed, just junk food. So don't attack me for that. Don't be like, oh, but I eat 70% clean and only 30% junk, so you're giving unrealistic comparison. I know it's unrealistic comparison, but I just did the comparison to help you with better understanding and to prove you that there are good foods and there are bad foods. And we can't say that all food is a good food. It doesn't matter whether it's processed or unprocessed, because all that matters is that we find a balance and stick within our calorie range and macro range. That is not true. Poison in small amounts is still a poison. So if you eat like one ice cream per day, will this kill you? Well, certainly it won't kill you, but also you can't say this ice cream is a good food and it's healthy for me to have it in my daily nutrition. And it's pretty much the same whether I eat Ben & Jerry's ice cream or whether I eat a bowl of fruit. No, the bowl of fruit is certainly much better and much healthier food than the Ben & Jerry's ice cream. It just is like that, sorry. So yeah, I'm not saying that eating junk food every now and then is bad and that will kill you. No, I eat every now and then junk food too, and I enjoy eating like a pizza here and there or a burger or a chocolate bar. But I'm not fooling myself that this is okay to eat on a daily basis, and all that matters is that I hit my calories even if I eat just like chocolate and chips and pizza, because that is not true. we have good foods and we have bad foods. And please don't be throwing all the foods in the same container and saying that there are no differences, because that is not true. That was it for today's video. Hope you find my video useful. Hope you learned something new. Like always, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment to support the channel's growth, and see you in the next video.